My name is Jessa, and my nose has been totaled. When I was growing up, my father and I had a very close relationship. We'd sing together a lot. We would dance together even in the living room. We had a really close relationship. When I was 18 years old, I just got my license, and my father and I were hanging out one day, and he said, well, we need to go to the DMV to take care of something. I was driving not even 5 minutes from our house, and my father was showing me something on the air control panel. And so I was looking down here, and we just went right into the back of this car that was stopped. I felt my face, and that's when I saw a lot of blood in my hands. And my father died. I carried so much guilt for a long time. I was Daddy's girl, and I mean, I'd give anything to bring him back. You know, he was everything to me. So, my nose wound up crushed in on the side. I had reconstructive surgery after reconstructive surgery to breathe normal. They cut my head ear to ear, and they pulled my face down to kind of rebuild my nose, but it never looked the same as it did before the accident. Last surgery I had, I went to a surgeon, and I was assured that it would help with the breathing, maybe make it straighter, make it look normal. It wound up looking worse. So now I had a caved in on the right side and a protrusion on the left side, and it was a bigger mess than it was to begin with.
Please take a seat right here.
Thanks so much.
My pleasure.
Every time I see my face, I remember the accident. It's not what I want to remember my father by. I was, considering again getting surgery. I want there to be a closure to this whole thing.
It's a process.
Of course.
It's not like I'm going to say something and, chapter's closed.
Yeah.
Done.
I just want to be able to fully let go of that one part of my life. I know that my father would want me to be happy with how I look and not to be reminded of our accident together. Getting my nose fixed would just help me move on in so many ways. I feel like I'm going to be back to like Daddy's little girl in a sense, to be able to not look at the tragedy side of it.
I think that is really, really, really a healthy decision for you.
Thank you so much. I think this is a really good thing.
Isn't that a nice picture? That was this weekend. We drank a lot.
That was fun.
Yeah. Remember that girl who came by the table, who was all over you, was groping you, and you were starting to sweat and everything?
Well, I was uncomfortable. I was trying to be polite, but say, okay,
Right. I didn't know whether you were going to end up, in the corner with her,
No, no.
Big security guy looks at me and says, do you want me to do something about this? And I go, like that, right? So he comes by, gives her one of these, the hook, takes her back to her table. Before they left, all of a sudden she comes by. Do you remember this?
Yeah, she just walks by and goes like this.
Drops a note.
Drops a note in front of you.
Right. Dr. Dubrow, you're such a sweetheart, but your friend is a piece of And I called the security on her. She thought you did. She thought you did.
Good morning, Dr. Nassif and Dr. Dubrow. Here's Jessa.
Hey.
Nice to meet you.
Good
Hi,
morning.
Dr.
Nice to
Nassif.
meet you. Hi.
I'm Terry Dubrow. How are you?
Hi,
Nice to meet you.
Please have a seat. Can you fill us in, give us a little story?
Absolutely. I was in a very bad accident with my dad. He passed away in the accident, and I watched him breathe his last breath in the accident.
Right there.
Right?
Yeah.
I don't know how anyone else can deal with that. I mean, that's horrible. How are you doing after watching something like that with your dad?
It was very, very hard for me for a long time. I mean, it was horrific. It took a long, long time for me to kind of get over it. It's a constant reminder looking and seeing this every day. And I kind of want to close that chapter. It's maddening.
So you have a little bit of PTSD then?
A little bit, maybe.
Yeah.
What were your injuries?
My nose kind of, if you took an egg and went like this with it. My nose kind of eggshelled, and I had nothing there.
You went through a lot. It'd be nice if we could help you. Why don't we go take a look in your nose then? See what's going on.
Sounds great.
If we do this successfully, I have a very strong feeling that this will really help Jessa get to the next step. So I received this surgery list,
Yeah,
just in regards to your nose.
yeah.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Nasal surgeries.
So this would be number
7.
7.
That's a lucky number.
Yeah, it is a lucky number, isn't it?
Going into a field that's been operated on already 6 times, I know that the tissue is not going to heal great. I know that there's also a risk of tissue death. No matter how great of a job I do, the healing may be off.
Does this contour, that concavity, bother you at all? Right there?
A little, yeah.
Have you
Onto
had
a lot,
There's a superficial temporal muscle there.
right?
And I think you've lost that muscle. I think it's atrophied from the injury. So that's why you have a hollow in your right temple.
Right, and
there.
I've always noticed that's when my hair kind of flips that way.
Yeah.
As long as it's safe below, we can put something in there, sometimes like fat and stuff like that.
Really?
At least to give you a semblance of getting this to look a little bit more normal.
Right.
Rather than just doing her nose, let's try to erase as much of these scars as possible and help her as much as possible. Get her on the complete road to recovery. If we can make those scars a little bit less noticeable, would that make you happy?
Absolutely.
Especially the right in the middle between your nose and your lip.
Yeah, absolutely.
Does this bother you at all way up here?
It does a little. I mean, you know, all these scars and things, it's not fun.
So there's a possibility that we could actually even make this scar right in the center part of your head better.
Yeah.
Wow.
Just removing it.
Wow.
Good news is these things are fixable. The question is, how fixable are they? In other words, how
like
much
your
of an improvement?
nose. Your nose is extremely crooked.
Right.
It's extremely asymmetric.
Right.
So I want you to think about a good improvement. Not a fantastic, out-of-the-world improvement.
That's what I'm looking
Would that make
for.
you happy?
Yeah.
Absolutely. I'm excited for that. Very, very much.
Okay.
I think you're the kind of patient that we love to work on in this in what we do because you've been through a lot. We live and exist for people like you.
Oh my gosh.
We really do.
You guys are amazing.
I am. He's not so much.
Thank you. I've been through a lot of trauma, and I'm so happy that it's finally going to be over. I think that this is going to be the start of a whole new life.
All right, Jessa, the day has come.
It
Please follow me,
has.
my love.
Okay.
How exciting.
It is exciting.
I'm so happy for you.
Thank you so
You're going to be so
much.
happy.
I absolutely feel like my dad is with me.
Excuse me.
I'll begin with liposuction to harvest fat from Jessa's abdomen, then inject it into her temples, filling in the depressed areas. Cutting out the scars from her upper lip and scalp, I will then transplant her own hair follicles using a neograft to hide the incision. Lastly, using a piece of rib to reconstruct her shattered septum, I'll straighten and build out her nose. My girl!
How are you doing?
How are you doing?
I'm good. I'm good. I'm good. Much better. Less swollen.
I know that I've erased some of the scars from Jessa, filling up her temple, doing a scar revision on her lip and her scalp, but I don't feel great about the results of Jessa's nasal surgery. Due to all the reconstruction she's had on her face, it could even go back to exactly the way it was. I spent hours to try to get this nose straight, and I couldn't do it. I'm not gonna say, yeah, I'm really proud of this nose. That's not gonna happen with this. I wish I would have been able to get it a little bit even straighter than it is now.
Right.
But I just kind of put your head back. I did more to your tip to try to get it straight than I have probably with any nose, I think, in my career. I spent more hours trying to get the base of your nose straighter, looking at every maneuver possible. I mean, we got a nice, about 70%, maybe 75% improvement. I mean, you have more cartilage reconstructing this whole area than I put with anybody, ever. Your incision here, by the way, when it heals, it's just not gonna be beautiful. It's not gonna be as perfect as one of my other ones. I tried everything in my power, every technique I've had, and because of the whole bones of the face, just because of the way the septum is, there's really nothing for me to reconstruct, and after all the work I did, I under-delivered. I couldn't do it. Once it's said and done, it's gonna look normal.
That's what I
It's
want.
not going to be perfect.
I don't want a perfect nose. It's totally comforting knowing that Dr. Nassif put so much of his work ethic into my nose and so much time into it.
So here's your 1 week. Okay, you ready?
Yeah.
Take a peek.
Oh my God.
I am nervous. I wonder what she's going to think.
Oh my gosh, oh my gosh. It's so much better. Like, it's so much better than I thought it was gonna be. Oh my God.
It is.
With the amount of trauma that was done to my face in that accident, to get anything perfect would be ridiculous to try and think that would even happen. He, worked on my scars. He also worked on the scar on top of my head. He went above and beyond what I went in for. He wanted to fully fix me, and that made me really happy. I can't believe how straight it is. Like, I can't believe how straight it is. Wowza.
I wish I could have done more.
No, it's
Unfortunately, you're one of the few patients that I just can't nail it.
so straight. You did an amazing job. Before my surgery, looking in the mirror was really difficult. I would see the whole accident with my father. Now my nose is better, and my head, the way that it dips in, is fixed. I can definitely move forward from here. My father would be happy right now. You did such an amazing job.
I feel better knowing that she's happy because she's the important part of the equation here, so it makes me feel good. I'm happy to know that you like it. All right, give me a hug.
Thank you so much.
Okay.
Thank you for everything. Everything.